Mechanical television or mechanical scan television is an obsolete television system that relies on a mechanical scanning device, such as a rotating disc with holes in it or a rotating mirror drum, to scan the scene and generate the video signal, and a similar mechanical device at the receiver to display the picture. This contrasts with vacuum tube electronic television technology using electron beam scanning methods, for example in cathode ray tube (CRT) televisions. Subsequently, modern solid-state liquid crystal displays (LCD) and LED displays are now used to create and display television pictures. Mechanical scanning methods were used in the earliest experimental television systems in the 1920s and 1930s. One of the first experimental wireless television transmissions was by John Logie Baird on October 2, 1925, in London. By 1928, many radio stations were broadcasting experimental television programs using mechanical systems. However, the technology never produced images of sufficient quality to become popular with the public. Mechanical scan systems were largely superseded by electronic scan technology in the mid-1930s, which was used in the first commercially successful television broadcasts, which began in the late 1930s in Great Britain. In the U.S., experimental stations such as W2XAB in New York City began broadcasting mechanical television programs in 1931 but discontinued operations on February 20, 1933, until returning with an all-electronic system in 1939. The first mechanical raster scanning techniques were developed in the 19th century for facsimile, the transmission of still images by wire. Alexander Bain introduced the facsimile machine in 1843 to 1846. Frederick Bakewell demonstrated a working laboratory version in 1851. The first practical facsimile system, working on telegraph lines, was developed and put into service by Giovanni Caselli from 1856 onward. Willoughby Smith discovered the photoconductivity of the element selenium in 1873, laying the groundwork for the selenium cell, which was used as a pickup in most mechanical scan systems. In 1885, Henry Sutton in Ballarat, Australia designed what he called a telephane for transmission of images via telegraph wires, based on the Nipkow spinning disk system. Selenium photocell, nickel prisms, and Kerr effect cell 319 Sutton's design was published internationally in 1890. An account of its use to transmit and preserve a still image was published in the Evening Star in Washington in 1896. The first demonstration of the instantaneous transmission of images was made by a German physicist, Ernst Römer, who arranged 25 selenium cells as the picture elements for a television receiver. In late 1909, he successfully demonstrated in Belgium the transmission of simple images over a telephone wire from the Palace of Justice at Brussels to the city of Liege, a distance of 115 kilometers, 71 miles. This demonstration was described at the time as the world's first working model of television apparatus. The limited number of elements meant his device was only capable of representing simple geometric shapes, and the cost was very high, at a price of £15, $45 per selenium cell. He estimated that a 4,000 cell system would cost £60,000, $180,000, and a 10,000 cell mechanism capable of reproducing a scene or event requiring the background of a landscape would cost £150,000, $450,000. Rumor expressed the hope that the 1910 Brussels Exposition Universelle et Internationale would sponsor the construction of an advanced device with significantly more cells, as a showcase for the exposition. However, the estimated expense of £250,000, $750,000 proved to be too high. The publicity generated by rumors demonstration spurred two French scientists, Georges Rignex and A. Fournier in Paris, to announce similar research that they had been conducting. A matrix of 64 selenium cells, individually wired to a mechanical commutator, served as an electronic retina. In the receiver, a type of Kerr cell modulated the light, and a series of variously angled mirrors attached to the edge of a rotating disc scanned the modulated beam onto the display screen. A separate circuit regulated synchronization. The 8x8 pixel resolution in this proof-of-concept demonstration was just sufficient to clearly transmit individual letters of the alphabet. An updated image was transmitted several times each second. In 1911, Boris Rosing and his student Vladimir Zworykin created a system that used a mechanical mirror drum scanner to transmit, in Zworykin's words, very crude images over wires to the Raum tube, cathode ray tube, or CRT, in the receiver. Moving images were not possible because, in the scanner, the sensitivity was not enough and the selenium cell was very laggy. As a 23-year-old German university student, Paul Julius Gottlieb Nipkow proposed and patented the Nipkow disc in 1884. This was a spinning disc with a spiral pattern of holes in it, so each hole scanned a line of the image. Although he never built a working model of the system, Nipkow's spinning disk image rasterizer was the key mechanism used in most mechanical scan systems. In both the transmitter and receiver, Konstantin Persky had coined the word television in a paper read to the International Electricity Congress at the International World Fair in Paris on August 24, 1900. Persky's paper reviewed the existing electromechanical technologies, mentioning the work of Nipkow and others. However, it was the 1907 invention of the first amplifying vacuum tube, the triode, by Lee de Forest, that made the design practical. Scottish inventor John Logie Baird in 1925 built some of the first prototype video systems, which employed the Nipkow disc. On March 25, 1925, Baird gave the first public demonstration of televised silhouette images in motion at Selfridge's department store in London, 18. Since human faces had inadequate contrast to show up on his primitive system, he televised a ventriloquist's dummy named Stooky Bill, talking and moving, whose painted face had higher contrast. By January 26, 1926, he demonstrated the transmission of image of a face in motion by radio. This is widely regarded as being the world's first public television demonstration. Baird's system used the Nipkow disc for both scanning the image and displaying it. A brightly illuminated subject was placed in front of a spinning Nipkow disc set with lenses which swept images across a static photocell. The thallium sulfide thallified cell, developed by Theodore Case in the USA, detected the light reflected from the subject and converted it into a proportional electrical signal. This was transmitted by AM radio waves to a receiver unit, where the video signal was applied to a neon light behind the second Nipkow disc rotating synchronized with the first. The brightness of the neon lamp was varied in proportion to the brightness of each spot on the image. As each hole in the disc passed by, one scan line of the image was reproduced. Baird's disc had 30 holes, producing an image with only 30 scan lines, just enough to recognize a human face. In 1927, Baird transmitted a signal over 438 miles, 705 kilometers, of telephone line between London and Glasgow. In 1928, Baird's company, Baird Television Development Company/Cinema Television, broadcast the first transatlantic television signal between London and New York, and the first shorter-ship transmission. In 1929, he became involved in the first experimental mechanical television service in Germany.
dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're made